Well, we have lots to talk about with Jan McNeilin. We're out in her raised beds. They look really great this year. I love them.
They do. That new soil really helped a lot, and it's been a perfect summer for most things.
It has been, and so now it's the getting to be the end of August. What are we doing?
Well, I'm going to plant some red clover here as the cover crop. I always say I'm going to do it, and then it doesn't happen. So I have some red clover seeds. It's very, very fine seed. So when you put it in, you just barely want to cover it at all. It needs light, and then keep it moist and wait till it germinates, and you've got a nitrogen fixing plant that'll put more nitrogen in your soil.
And really, this is the time to do it. I think people think about it like in October, and really it's getting late for it to get germinated, so this is really a good time to start.
Right, and because it'll start growing and fill in and keep the weeds down and do a lot of other things. So I also have a mix of a bee
Look at
and
all
pollinator
of them.
mix, and it's just a package of seeds in one box. And there are pollinators all over this. They've been since they first started to flower. And you look at the kinds of flowers that are there are the tiny ones for the most part that smaller pollinators can get to, little tiny wasps and hoverflies and bees and bumblebees, and they're all over it. And it's kind of a rotating flower because some of them will die down and others are coming along here. So.
And it's really important to have along with your vegetables because sometimes there's just not enough flowers to bring a lot of pollinators to your veg garden.
Exactly.
And it makes it pretty.
Yeah, nice.
And then you have amazing tomatoes, but there's one tomato that's just not doing well. So what's that one?
No, the one right next to it is fine. The plant's dead or close to it, but I'm leaving the tomatoes hang on because they will ripen on the vine. Underneath that are mole runs. This year we've had more moles than ever, so there's a lot of air underneath that. Even though I've been poking the hose down into it, it's a lot of air. So I'll just let it sit, and I've been picking tomatoes off of it.
Hey,
so,
that's okay.
yeah, but it's a good tomato year for sure.
It is. And then I noticed your cucumbers. So we're talking about kind of things that are going on weird in the garden.
Well,
so why does that happen?
This is just inconsistent watering. So if the plant, zucchinis do it, cucumbers do it, other squash, a summer squash, and then if you keep the soil evenly moist, you're going to have an evenly grown cucumber. But at this point, that's why that happens.
And if they're bitter, is that a water issue too?
It can be, absolutely can be.
So
And
yeah,
sometimes you'll get them really bitter, like alum almost.
Yeah, and they're
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a water thing.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's another kind of oddity here at the end of the.
I saw that.
Now, this is the real name. It's called dog vomit slime mold.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's what it looks like too. It's in the ground there where this mulch is. It's very common. The colors are different. They can be gray, black, tan, red. Some of them look like literally pomegranate seeds that are, and it's just a mold that is just breaking down the chips and the mulch that we have here.
And so you just kind of turn it over or
Yeah,
take it
it's
out.
not going to
or
hurt
whatever.
anything. You can just watch it. It'll dry and it'll almost be like powder. And it can get on plants too, but it doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of,
Yeah.
there's always interesting things in nature.
Right.
And then you have a bounty of kale. So what are you doing with that?
I do. Today I'm going to pick it or cut it and make kale chips. And I want to do it before, this is the time of year where it starts to get powdery mildew and starts to die back and have a lot of aphids. And so I'm going to cut it before that happens and make a bunch of kale chips.
And they're so easy to do.
They are,
Really nice.
Sure.
So if you have a bounty of kale, you don't have to just use it for that fresh salad. I love kale chips. That's another great idea. Jan has a million ideas. Hope your garden is doing well. And Jan, we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Excellent.